going to need y'all to help me call him.
Yes, Lord.
So when I say, help me call him, I want y'all to say Jesus. All right. Can you help me call him?
Jesus.
Can you help me call him? 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 Can you help me call him?
Jesus.
Can you help me call him?
Jesus.
Jesus.
Everybody put those hands together. Everybody. Under the sound of my voice. Come on, put those hands together. Tuesday. Anybody ever woke up out of your sleep and you was calling on the name of the Lord? Am I by myself? Hey, I was having a moment, and when I woke up to read it, I said, in the name of Jesus, hey, he'll be there whenever you need him. And guess what? Even when you don't call him, he's there. That's the kind of God that we serve. I'm so glad that he's not sometimey. I'm so glad that if you do something to him, he said, I'll fix you. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know we have some issues and some things going on with this flesh. You do it to me, I'm going to do it back to you. Holler at me. And even if you was hungry, I wouldn't feed you. Talk back to me, you all. But the God that we serve, he's a mighty good God. He's an awesome God. He's a merciful God. He's a kind God. He's a forgiving God. Yay! Won't he do it? Won't he do it? In the book of Hebrews, let the words of my mouth, meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. In the book of the Hebrews, the 10th chapter, somebody say provoke to purpose. Provoke to purpose. We got to be poked. We got to be pushed. We got to make our way until we get to everybody in here got a purpose. You do know that. Every one of us, y'all got to make, every one of us got a purpose up in here. We all got a purpose. In the book of Hebrews, 10th chapter, and starting at the 20th verse, by a new and living way. By a new and living way. You all, y'all may be seated. Y'all may be seated. I've already given my text. In these past 3-4 years that we're in, our lives of living has changed. I only heard 2 or 3 people. Y'all still got it going on. Y'all. It has changed dramatically into being able to be tailored to where we are in this climate that we're in. But God, by a new thing and living way, which he has concentrated for us through the veil that is to say his flesh. You know, Paul, the prolific writer, Paul is going on to say, you know, the things that we go through. Anybody got a story about your trials and your tribulations? Anybody got a story about how God brought you out? Anybody got a story about how he made a way out of no way? When it looked like all hope was gone and God still made a way for you. When it looked like your back was up against the wall and God made, when you was broke, busted, and disgusted, and God still opened up some doors for you. And having the high priest over the house of God, let us draw near with a true heart in full assurance of faith. Let us draw near. Draw nigh unto me, and I'll draw unto you. The closer you get to God, guess what? Holler back at me. The closer you get to God, I promise you, he said he'll never leave you nor forsake. Even when we're doing our stuff, he's still there. What a merciful, forgiving God that we have. And some folks, I had a hard time. I had to eventually do it. Because I want to lead by example. You know, you do to me, I'm going to do to you back. And if you keep doing it to me, I'm going to have some issues with you. But the God that I serve, you got to recognize, you got to go back to when he was on Calvary's cross, Deacon Banger. You got to recognize when he was healing the sick and raising the dead, and everybody was saying, Hosanna, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the Master, the wonderful Counselor, the Prince of Peace, the everlasting Father. They were saying all the great things about him until something drastically happened. And the same people that pumps and primes you up, them and the same people will say, punish you. Y'all holler back. If you haven't been there, you keep living. Anybody ever had any best friends that you thought was your best friend and they turned on you? Just draw nigh unto me and I'll draw. Thank you for helping. I got some folks out there going to help me preach today. Put your trust in no man. Thank you for that. Let us draw nigh unto him in true heart and full assurance of faith, having the hearts sprinkled from the evil conscience, of our bodies washed with pure water. You know, the water is pure, and I'm glad that the water is pure, because when I be bathing, when I be showering, it just washes all the impurities off. Holler back at me. The grease and the grime that you have been through. And as a matter of fact, as soon as you do that, if you know what I'm talking about, anybody know what I'm talking about? Every morning, Tony, when I get out of the tub, I always make it a habit that I get me a cotton swab and I put a little alcohol on it. And guess what comes out of my skin? Holler back at me. Guess what comes out? Some more grease and grime. I'm so glad that God got me covered. Let us hold fast to the profession of our faith. Look at the neighbor and say, hold fast to the profession of our faith without wavering. You know, sometimes it feels like that we want to give up and throw in the towel. Sometimes it feels like we want to quit. Sometimes we say, you know, I got enough of this. Am I by myself? Being not sure of yourself, the enemy wants to keep you bickering and battering and with the stuff that don't even matter. With stuff that don't even matter, you all. We're holding on to a lot of things you can't do nothing about. Thank you. Sometimes you have to let it go and leave it in. Sometimes some of your relatives, and they're the closest somebody to you. Now, I'm going to still love you, but it's going to be at a distance. But I promise you, I had to, I had to motivate. I had to push myself off in to say, I used to be, you do it to me, and I'm going to do it to you. And then if you need me, I'm not going to help you. But I had to get to a place, I had to think about what would Jesus say? What would he do? The same people said that he healed, delivered, and set free. They call him Hosanna. Tony, they call him the King of Kings. They call him the Lord of Lords. And them same people say crucify. If you haven't had your crucified moment with some of your relatives and some of your friends, you keep living. But then the God that you have on the inside will show up on the outside each and every time. When you hold in stuff, it becomes cancer. When you hold in stuff, it becomes sickness. When you hold in, and then next to you, them boogers going on about their own business. Doing SOS, the same old stuff to somebody else. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, let it go, let it go. He is faithful that promise. He is faithful that promise. He never sleeps. He never slumbers. God is faithful that promise. When we break our promises to God, God is still faithful. Our mean, low-down ways. I say our mean, low-down. I'm included too. He is still faithful. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercy I see. All I have needed, your hands have provided. Great is your faithfulness. Look at your neighbor and say, stay faithful. Stay faithful. It is rewarded. If you hold out and hold on, I promise you everything is going to be all right. Let us not consider one another provoked to provoke one another. Woo-wee. To provoke one another. There's some folks who you thought were saints. My son over there, Carlos. Oh, I shouldn't have called your name. They know where you are now. you know my home. We share sons. But some folks can provoke you to some things that they want to keep poking at you, and you keep saying, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. But then there's something on the inside that say, you got to learn how to walk away. You got to learn how to take your mouth out the lion's mouth. You got to learn how to get out of the lion's. It's okay to back up. Reverse is on your vehicle for a purpose. It's got a purpose to have reverse on there. When you get boxed in, when you get closed in, when it looks like you can't get out and you trying to move forward, put that baby in reverse and back on up and go your way. Holler back at me. It's okay to take a detour. It's okay to take, it may take you a little bit long. Yes, the expressway is the fastest way, but it's okay to take a detour every now and then. Provoke. The enemy wants to keep you, to incite you with anger. Provoke for you to give up. Provoke for you to keep picking at the soil. Keep picking at the soil. Paul said, he said, let us consider one another to provoke. And unto love, provoke unto love. Let us consider one another to provoke unto love and good works. Love and to good works. That's another definition for to provoke. You can provoke somebody into being excited. You can provoke somebody in when they're down and they're out. You can encourage them. Anybody encourage anybody on this week? Anybody told them that you can make it when they're having some. Guess what? Because it's going to have to turn. It's like a boomerang effect. It's going to come back to you. You encourage somebody, it's going to come a time when you're going to need encouragement. Anybody need some encouragement on last week? I know I did. Y'all think I'm this strong. Some of y'all think I'm this strong and mighty and muscle man. The pastor have his moments as well too. But Paul said, he said, let us consider one another to provoke unto love and good works. That's another definition of provoking, is to turn this thing around. Anybody need to turn some stuff around? Provoke it off into. Thank you. I see a couple of folks turning around. Provoke off into. Take that anger and make it work for you, because that's what the devil made clear. He said, kill, steal, and destroy. And everything that you're trying to accomplish, he's going to kill it. Everything that you thought you moved for, he's going to destroy it. Everything that you think you got, he's going to come and wipe it all out. Holler back at me, Job. Sure, the very appearance of evil. That's what the Bible says. He was an upright and perfect man. He stayed before God for his children. He stayed before God for all the problems. And he didn't let all his wealth and stuff give him the big head. But when the enemy comes in, the Bible said the enemy comes in like a flood. And he made it clear. He said, kill, steal, and destroy. He said, I'll make him cuss you to your face if you strip him. if you take everything from him. See, he's worshiping you not because he's rich. He's worshiping you not because he got all these houses. He's worshiping you not because he got all of this land. He got all of these cattle. But anybody ready to make a deal? Anybody ready to make a deal? He said, I'll make a deal with you, God. I'll make a deal with you. If you take away all of his wealth, if you take away his health, I'll make him cuss you to your face. But how many know when you on the Lord's side and you got your heart fixed and your mind made up, no matter what you do to me, I'm going to stay in the race. No matter how you treat me, I'm going to continue to run on. No matter how you know what? I want to go back with the Lord when he called my name. Now, he didn't say we weren't going to have no struggles in the problem, because he said many of the afflictions of the righteous, but God is a healer, he's a deliverer, and he can get you out. Is it anything too hard for God? Unto love and the good works. Let's talk about purpose. Let's talk about purpose. Anybody know what purpose is? Purpose is something that sets you up as an object or in the end to be attained. Your purpose. Anybody got a purpose that you need for this week moving forward, starting today? Start putting down. Anybody make yourself some notes, some reminders, and some things that you have to do. Start putting down what your purpose, what you want your purpose to be. My purpose is to have good health. My purpose is to have more money. My purpose is to have a good life. My purpose is to be, am I by myself? Y'all better start hollering out your purpose. Anybody got a purpose they need to holler out? Better relationships, better relationships. More money, more money. I know everybody going to holler this out. More money, more money. Purpose is something that you set up an object to end, to be attained. Purpose intentionally, awareness what one is doing. You know, sometimes we can be nosy. I can say I put myself on, we can be nosy. Huh? Y'all talk back to me a little bit. I'm going to get ready. We can be nosy. Oh, all right. Purposely, the enemy is interventionally working as hard as she or he can to keep you from reaching your goal. From reaching your goal. DOA. Who know what the acronym DOA means? Dead on arrival. All the hard work you have done, all the things that you have contributed to, all the things that you have put up, and then the devil will come in and just wipe it out just like that. That's how the enemy works. When the enemy comes in like a flood, the Bible said that God is going to set up a standard. God said, I'm going to take and I'm going to make this thing work. Anybody need God to make something work for you? Do you know what your purpose is? Anybody in here know what their purpose is? Who got a purpose in the house when you leave here on today? Start thinking about what your purpose is. I know what my purpose is. I want to do better. I know what my purpose is. I want more money. I ain't hear nobody. Just a few months. Y'all remember it was a famous preacher. He always would say, money come to me, money come to me. And guess what? Millions of dollars came to him when he said, did he not ever pack millions of dollars was coming in when he said, money come to me. People were sending money from all over the world. Money come to me, money come to me. I'm saying that money come to me, but I'm going to do something with my money. I'm going to share my money. What is your purpose? Everybody, what is your purpose? And I'm so glad that, and I always like to use Tony for an example. His purpose, he's a wonderful, trustworthy contractor. He do what he say and say what he do, and he do work well. And if he mess up something, he say, oh, I'll fix that. See, it's mighty nice to have a relationship with folks when something go wrong, and you can go back to them, and they say, I'll fix that. And then you say, what it costs? Because some folks, when they do something and they mess up on it, and you say, what it costs? Well, you got to give me $100. But when you go to him and say, Tony, this is messed up. He said, I got you, Bishop. I got you. Well, you don't owe me nothing. That's what I'm talking about. That's a real working relationship. Holler back at me. You got to have somebody that's going to work with you, and you got to work with somebody. We all need somebody in our lives. We all need somebody, a go-to person. Every one of us got a go-to person. Now, everybody you can't go to. Everybody you can't talk to. Everybody got a best friend that you say, don't tell. I'm not going to tell them, but every one of us got a best friend, and every one of us talk. Let me say this. If it wasn't for the Goliath that was put in David's life, if it wasn't for the Goliath that was put in David's life, he never would have became king. Somebody needs to listen at me. We all got a Goliath in our life. We all got a demon. We all got all of this stuff that's going on in the darkness in our life. But he never would have became king. You got to go through some stuff to get to. Holler back. When God is trying to get you ready to bless you, it's always going to be a big problem in your life named Goliath. We all got a Goliath in our lives. But how do you control it? How do you handle it, the situation? If you haven't been in the situation, you keep living. It's always going to be a program to distract you, to block you, to prevent you from making it to your destiny. Always to prevent you from making it to your destiny, to detour. Detour is not always bad. To take a detour is not always bad, especially when you're on the expressway and you see it starting to pile up and you caught between exits that you cannot get off. You are just stuck. Anybody ever been stuck on the E-way? For a couple of hours? Anybody ever been fortunate enough when you seen it piling up, you was able to pull off and get off at the exit? Now, it might take you a little bit longer to get to your destiny, but at least you made it. And you look at all the thousands of cars that piled up on the E-way. Oh, my God, I pray for those people. I pray for the people that have these accidents. I pray for the people that are doing all this chaos out there. Because like I said, when you stuck in between and you don't have no exit, you are just stuck. And ain't a thing you could do about it. Anybody ever been stuck? We were stuck for years ago. We was on the way to church when we owned the restaurant. And we were stuck in between. We were supposed to get right off on 99th Street here. We were stuck between Tony and 111 and 99th Street. Somebody had jumped off the bridge. And they kept calling us. I said, we're on the way. And then they gave us the information. Said, well, somebody jumped off the bridge. I said, well, we're stuck. And the thing you could do about it. Anybody ever been stuck? Anybody stuck right now? Anybody want to know a way to get out of it? Anybody want to need to? I'm going to try to help you out. If you're fortunate enough, you can get off. But if you're not, you still focus. Stay focused on your destiny. Stay focused on your destiny, where you are going. You got to have and plan the place where you're going. The enemy wants to stop you from getting to your purpose in life. But if you can just hold out and don't quit. Hold out and tell your neighbor, hold out and don't quit. Hold out. Eventually you will get there. It might not come where you want it, but we say he's an on-time God. On-time God. Somebody say, yes, he is. Yes, he is. Goliath was the gateway. He was the gateway to the little shepherd boy, David. Y'all know who David was. David was a little shepherd boy. He was the youngest of the 8 sons. He was the youngest one. And most of the time, the youngest one, you make do all the work. Holler back at me. I know when my brother was younger, I had my little brother doing everything. Everything. When mom and daddy wasn't around, I made him do everything. Until he finally got sick and tired of it. And he went and told on me one day. And my daddy said, you do that again, Carl. I said, you told on me? I didn't do it no more. Because my daddy warned me. My daddy didn't play. Dad, are you looking? Here we go. He was older, and his oldest brothers were going there. You know Goliath. You know who Goliath was. Goliath was that mean, big, ugly something. That he was bigger than everybody. You could see him from miles away. We all got a Goliath in our lives. Somewhere, somehow. It might be your bills. It might be some things you're going through. We all have a Goliath in our life. And how are you going to handle your Goliath? I'm going to try to help you out on today in a few more minutes. When he went out there, and then he heard, he said, who is this fella hollering out at the king? You know, how you going to disrespect the king? You know, some folks, and I appreciate you all, how you all love me, but if y'all see somebody disrespecting me, I know Tony going to come to my rescue. I know some of you women going to come to my rescue. When you see somebody, I see some more, you going to disrespect me? I heard that. See what I'm talking about? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? And he had some issues. He said, who is this uncircumcised man hollering out at the king? He was inquisitive. He went there, and he was the little shepherd boy. They left him behind because he was the youngest of them. And they left him behind to tend the sheep. And all he had, but he did it. Whatever you do, you got to do it well. And when he heard him hollering out, he said, who is this uncircumcised man hollering out like that? So here comes Saul, here comes Saul. You know, Saul was a masculine man, maybe about my size, and he was muscular. And you know, a lot of times when you get stuff tailor-made, it's tailor-made to fit you. It's tailor-made to, and it looks like you. So he said, you going to let him sit up there? He said, I'll go to battle for you. Sometimes we need somebody to go to battle for us. I'll go to battle for you. So Saul said, he said, take my sword. He said, take my armor, take my helmet. But when he tried to put it on, it didn't fit. Don't put stuff on that does not fit you. It's not going to work. And this man, this Goliath kept hollering at him. He kept yelling, send me somebody out. And when Saul wanted to give him his armor, when Saul wanted to give him his sword and stuff, it was too big for him. It didn't work. He said, I'm going to use what I got. He said, what is that? He said, I'm going to the brook and I'm going to pick me up 5 pebbles. I'm going to pick me up 5 rocks. He said, what are you going to do? He said, I got a slingshot in my pocket. Use what you got, Tony. Use what you got. Tell your neighbor, use what you got. Especially when you put God in place and ask God to lead God and direct you. Use what you got. As long as you got God on your side and in your life, is it anything too hard for God? We heard this big old booger hollering out, defying God. And the bad part about it, I bet you he was talking about him, calling him all kind of names and everything. But when he hollered, when he desecrated God, you done did too much now. You done crossed the line now. You can't desecrate God in front of me. The Bible says he reached off in his pouch and he got just one rock. It only take one rock. Let your neighbor say one rock. And here's the special part about it. Goliath had on all this gear. You know, they had protective gear on, and they just a little portion of your face will be out. But you got your helmet on, you got your breastplate on, you got your armor on, you got your shield on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But God was in the plan. God was in the rock. He's the rock of my salvation. He's my mighty strong tower. He's my battle axe. Whenever he's in charge and in control, I don't care what you do, as long as you do it in the name of Jesus. And he took off that armor. He said, Saul, this isn't fitting me. He said, well, you too little. He said, look, when it was a lion that came up and was getting ready to get one of the sheep, he said, I fought him off. And then he said, dang, too, here come a bear that was trying to eat up the lion. He said, no, not here, not under my watch. Somebody said, not under my watch. And he took that rock, and when he put it off in his slingshot, all the armor that he had on, you all look at, because it's all made out of metal, but it's always one spot that you can get to. It's always one spot, and if you can get the head, you got the rest of it. One little spot was open, and God directed that one little rock, Deacon Banger, and when it hit him straight in his forehead, and he fell like a 5-ton of brick fell. And then here it go, and it was so interesting when I was reading it. David took his sword. He took Goliath's sword. Ain't that so? He took Goliath's sword, his armor, and cut off his own head with his own sword. Now, you can mess with me if you want to. Some stuff you got to cut off. Some stuff you got to let go of. And I get ready to close. Help me out, Curtis. He was running to take the food. But God always have another way. He was on assignment to do one thing. But when he got in the midst of the mess, not today, not under my watch. And the scripture tells us, it says, not forsaking to assemble yourself together. As a matter of some, some is but exercising one another, exhorting one another, for many the more. And you say, I don't know why I don't have my glasses on, you all, but I'm gonna get through this. The day of approaching. Deacon Banger, loan me your glasses right quick. And when you say, I can do this part, when you say enough is enough, I'm finished now. I'm finished. I'm able to get through it. When you say in your heart is fixed, your mind is made up, enough is enough. Who am I talking to on today that's going to leave away from here, that's carrying too much stuff on now, and you're going to say enough is enough? Now, leave me alone. Enough is enough. Not today. Not today. Anybody having a not today moment? Leave me alone. Enough is enough. Hey! Don't keep provoking me. Don't keep pushing me. That's why I'm going to admonish everybody to stay in the presence of the Lord. In his presence, there's healing. In his presence, there's deliverance. In his presence, God will make a way out of nowhere. Stay with him, stay with him, stay with him. As I close, Isaiah 55 and 6 says, seek the Lord while he may be found. Call on him while he's near. While the blood is running warm in your veins. The Bible says he'll supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. All your needs. I don't know what you need. I don't know what you want. But God can supply all your needs according to his riches that's in glory. In other words, he's a one-stop shop. You all know what a one-stop shop is. You can go off in there. The big box is made so you can go off in there and get purchase and get anything that you want. But a lot of times, the shelves might be empty. You all remember 2 or 3 years ago, the shelves were empty. You couldn't get nothing on. So that big box was not no one-stop shop. And you was searching over. You made sure you were going to get something, but it didn't have what you wanted. I'm going to tell you about my God. He's a one-stop shop. What you need, he's got it. If you need healing, he's got it. You need deliverance, he's got it. He's got the cattle on 1,000 hills. Come on, somebody. Come on, come on, come on. Don't you want to go? David said, I will bless the Lord at all times. His presence shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make a boast of me. The humble therein shall hear of it and be glad in it. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. And let us exalt his name together. Let us lift him up. Let us give him all the due praise. Let us come before the altar with thanksgiving. Let us come before him with singing and praise. I will bless the Lord sometime, all times, and praises go up. Blessings will come down. Come on, make some noise. Hey, make some noise. Hey, won't he do it? Won't he do it? How many got a testimony? How many can say, if it had not been for the Lord on my side, I wouldn't have made it this far to where I am? Say, yeah, while we were slumbering and sleeping, he didn't let the fire break out. He didn't let these break in. And because of his mercy, we are not consumed. Somebody got a Goliath in your life, but the devil is alive. See ya! God says, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. And even though we fall, we mess up, we start doubting, we start having our moments. Why have you forsaken me? What did I do to deserve this? Am I by myself? He says, when I call to you, I didn't get an answer right away. He don't always answer right away. But as long as there's breath in your body. Remember when he told the man to go wash? And when he came back, he said, how do you see? He said, I see men as trees. I'm going somewhere with this. Thank God for grace and mercy. He said, but go wash again. Who am I talking to that needs to go wash again? And when you come back, he said, now how do you see men? He said, I see them as they are. Somebody's going to walk out of here seeing God as he is. Everybody standing, everybody standing, everybody standing. Let's us continue to pray for the nation, but especially our surroundings where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, watch your surroundings. Do this every time you're out. The devil used to come out at night, Tony, 24/7. Make sure you lock your vehicles. But they're busting out windows and stuff now. My granddaughter got her car broke off into, but when I found out and started pulling out what happened, did you leave your truck open? I said, did they bust your window? She said, no, Granddad. How did they get in? I think I forgot to lock the door. I said, well, thank God. She said, why you say that? I said, because it could have bust your window out. The devil is the devil. He said, and he made it clear. He said, where you going? He said, seeking. It used to be at midnight, you all. It used to be in the dark, but these boogers is out in the daytime. Midday. They're out there doing their devilment. Yeah, we got cameras all over the place. We got cameras all over the place, do we not? They do not care. And matter of fact, we set a pose for you. It's everywhere. But the God that we serve, your grace and mercy brought us through. We live in this moment because of you. What my survivors? I want to and praise you too. Your grace and mercy brought me through. Your grace and mercy brought me through. In Psalms 23, the 6th verse, it starts off with a promise. It says, surely goodness, when we mess up the second time, and mercy shall follow me all the days of our life. And the reward is, the benefits is, and we should dwell in the house of the Lord and praise you too. Your grace and mercy. Lift those hands. Can you help me say yes? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, everybody. Yes. Wave those hands and say, I surrender all. I surrender all. I surrender all. Who am I talking to here today? I surrender all. Hey, I surrender. Hey, hey. Come in my life. Spirit of the living God, come in my life. Oh, come in my life. Hey, come in my life. Come in my life. Hey. Now just break out and start praising Him. Start praising Him in advance. Start praising Him in advance. Start thanking Him in advance. Praise God. Blessings come down. Send it up to them. Hey. If it had not been for the Lord on my side, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, don't you want to go? Hey, 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 hey. I speak peace in your life. Isaiah 26:3 says, I'll keep you in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed. I'll keep you in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed. I speak blessings and prosperity. I speak healing. I speak deliverance. Who needs to be set free on today? Who needs to walk out of here different today? Who needs God to do something miraculous on today? Yeah! Come on, I surrender all. I surrender all. Oh, repeat this after me. I have a new attitude. I have a new direction. I have a new vision. I endeavor to expand. I endeavor to expand. I my endeavor to look to the hill, but when can I have all of my help comes from the Lord. I have a new attitude. I have a new direction. I have a new vision. Come on, come on. Yes, won't he do it? Won't he do it? I'm not leaving out of here the way I came in. It's because of his mercy. It's because of his mercy. While we were slumbering and sleep, he lifted the fire break out and this day bring it. Your grace and mercy brought me through. Your grace and mercy brought me through. I'm living this moment all because I'm living this moment. Why am I all because surviving? All because surviving. Where my survivors at? In the house. He's a wonderful counselor, mighty God, everlasting Father, Prince of Peace, Lily of the Valley, bright morning star. I want you to holler out one thing, just one thing, how God brought you out. Just holler out one thing. Holler, 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 holler. Just one thing. One thing that I desire, that I might seek after, that I might dwell. One thing that I desire. What is your desire? What is your desire? You got to have a desire. One thing what I seek after, that I might dwell in the house of the Lord. In the house, in the presence of the Lord. In his presence, there's healing. In his presence, there's deliverance. In his presence, there is the fullness of life. See ya! See ya! See ya! Yeah! Woo! Y'all made the grace. I know it. Y'all do it again. Say it in Jesus. Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. Say, Satan, get behind me. Satan, get behind me. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to our weekly Sunday streaming services. To be a blessing to our ministry, you may give by way of Givelify. That's Searching Trinity All Nation Church. You can give by Zelle. That's at info@talln.org. You can give by Cash App at $TALLN1. You may drop off your donation in person or mail it to Trinity All Nations Church, 9600 South Renton Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60643. To be added to the mailing list, email us at info@talln.org. Won't you join us on Thursday evenings at 7 o'clock p.m. via Facebook and YouTube for our weekly Bible study streaming service?